Are you stuck? What about unhappy? Join Alena Chapman, author, mentor, and life coach for 30-minute moments as she challenges you to get out of the doldrum and start living your life to the fullest. It's time to celebrate that life with 30-minute moments.
Welcome to 30-minute moments for that ease and betterment in your life. I'm Alena Chapman, your host, and all right, I'll tell you what, I had a thought. And this was when I was at someone else's family reunion. I was meeting their family. And this is going to tie in to our holiday theme because guess what? We are entering the holidays. But I was at this family reunion and everybody was so special and so nice. But there was this one lady who came up to me. She had heard that I was a spiritual thought leader. And she came up to me and she said, well, I'm ... And she named the religion that she was. And I'm not going to bring that up because it doesn't matter. But she was this one religion. And I said, I was raised in that religion. And she says, oh, well, good. And then she went on her mission. And her mission was that this was the only religion and that she hopes I was practicing it and that I really needed to be just this religion. And so I just looked at her and I said, oh, I am so glad you have found your way. I'm so happy for you. And I said, and yes, I do still see this part of it. And then I walked away. Okay? I didn't even confront that. Now, and I also spend a lot of time, I always get a tea and I sit out in nature. And lately, the last 2 mornings, it's been cold and I'm sitting out there and I see all the geese and they're just waking up because I get up very, very early to take my son to school. And I'm looking at all the geese and I notice when they get up, the extreme additional things they will do not to wake up anybody else in their flock. They don't spread their wings when they're all huddled together. They walk gently without banging one other bird outside the flock to spread their wings. They don't make any noise unless they leave the flock totally. The care that I see with these birds on how they treat each other kind of brought me back to why don't we do that? And a lot of times it's because we feel we have to bring people into our mission. And a lot of times that happens with religion. And that brings us to the holiday season and my guest, Teralyn Curry Avery. Now, she has been on before, but she is perfect for this holiday season. And you'll see where I'm going with all this. I bet you get a kind of a hint. But, all right, Dr. Teralyn Curry Avery is the creator of pastology, the cutting-edge field that focuses on the synergy between pastoring and psychology. In her work both as an ordained minister and a licensed psychologist, Dr. Curry Avery, she observes that although religion is a healing balm for some, often it is an instrument of wounding for others. These wounds range from rejection, all connections with the sacred, to self-hatred, to remaining in abusive relationships, to refusing medical intervention, to a belief that only my religion is the right religion. It's a mission. Her forward-thinking junction of two complementary fields was the impetus from which she launched her movement of healing religious wounds. Dr. Curry Avery emphasizes the journey toward sacred intelligence, and that's the ability to tap into one's internal source in order to move toward intelligent choices. Her mission is to help heal religious wounds through teaching individuals to recognize the impact of these wounds on a personal level. And with that, I am going to bring her right on. Hello, Teralyn.
Hello. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully likewise, and I just loved your intro story of this one correct religion and the way we we do things. It is such important part of the work that I do in terms of just asking people if they could broaden their perspectives a little bit. It's okay to hold on to your beliefs
Yes.
in the sense of you believe what you believe, right? You know,
Exactly.
I proudly say that I'm a Christian, but I also know that being a Christian means that I can expand my thinking as well. It doesn't have to be limited, that there is only one way for me to connect with the sacred or God or the divine or the universe, whatever name people choose. I am not threatened by what other names people use. In fact, I use it to say, well, how can I learn more about my even belief system by looking at the way someone else thinks
Now,
about God?
I love this. I love this. Now, I do want to play a naysayer, okay? Because I think a lot of people are saying, well, what's wrong with my religion? I can hear them out there, okay? They're saying, well, but I am in this, and this is right. And this is why I do this. But don't you find anytime we're on a mission, not just religious, any kind of real zealous mission, don't we find that when we're telling people, when we're talking to another person, we don't see the person? We see them, yes, they have blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever, but we don't really see the person. We are not in the place of receiving them in our hearts, their heart to heart. We're on a mission to be in my religion.
A part of that, a part of that mission is our ego, right?
Yes.
We have to be correct in what we're saying. But, you know, as you were talking, one of the things that I thought about was if we look at a mathematical problem. Now, I don't know about you, but when I grew up, they taught us a certain way to solve a problem.
Yes, they
when
did.
my children come home from school, they have taught them a different way to solve the problem.
Yes,
but
I found that.
we end up with the same answer.
Right.
And so when I think about religion, particularly when I think about, you know, maybe some of the major religions that we often talk about, you know, here in the U.S., and I look at, let's say if we even looked at Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. Right?
Okay.
If we look at those three religions, they all have similar tenets of them. They all have similar golden rules, if you will. But there might be a different way of talking about those golden rules, and there might be a different way of getting to what we all define as God. We have different names for it, but it's still about God. And
it's still about God, and it's still about love. Every single one, every modality I've ever been in, it was always about love. And,
right. And so if we were to just focus on that love piece and use our love language, we still get to the same thing. But if we're so busy saying, no, I'm right, then where's love in the midst of that? And where is the end result of being more deeply connected with your sacred source?
I don't remember Jesus first saying to a person before he helped him, do you believe what I believe? I don't remember him saying, do you believe in me totally? He never asked that. He just asked that, you know, he just broke bread with them. He welcomed them into his heart, and he never pushed. I think this is something, doesn't it come, you know, because I really did a lot of thinking on this. I feel that when we are so zealous in something, because if we know it in our heart and we feel good with it, we're secure. But when we are we don't feel like we have to push it on anyone. But when we feel insecure in some way, that's when we go on a mission that everybody has to be like us. Am I correct or wrong?
And so exactly. I want to go back to what you just said when you were talking about Jesus. Jesus showed the ultimate love, right? By doing exactly what you said. Jesus was saying, I see you, I hear you, I get you, and I'm going to listen to you.
Yes.
And then I'm going to show you the love of whatever it was in any of those situations. But most of us will do what you said this woman did. we're going to start out saying, it's all about this way. This is the only way. And so where's love in the midst of that? Because now people are more focused on how you made them feel, and they're focused on you telling them that there was something wrong about them, instead of starting the conversation with, let me seek to understand you and where
Let
you
me
are.
see you. Let me just see you. And I really think this holiday season, if we just started to put aside our missions, you know, and just thought, I think I'm going to just see you for you, and let it be at that, and share the love I feel, you know, if you feel the love.
Exactly. And that, now, wait a minute, that's a whole other show.
I know. I knew it as soon as I said it. I thought, uh-oh.
You know, people get really, really offended these days when they go into a store, and let's say the holiday season is coming up. People will get offended if folks say Merry Christmas. People will get offended if folks say Happy Holidays, because people who are Christian will say, well, it's not Happy Holidays, it's Merry Christmas. And then if you're not a Christian, you don't want to hear people say Merry Christmas. But if we all truly valued and appreciated one another's traditions,
Exactly.
it really wouldn't matter whether you said Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever it is. We could just celebrate one another. If I were to come to your home and you had a different tradition that you practice, when I walk into your home, I'm not going to try to assert myself. I'm coming into your space, your culture. I want to understand it. And so likewise, we're in a world where we are privileged and blessed to have so many traditions that it's wonderful to celebrate the multiple ways that the sacred is embodied in each of us.
You know, when I was way in my history as a musician and conductor, and when I did that, I actually had church choirs in sometimes it was church, instrument, bells, and also drama, and sometimes even youth. So I played many, many hats, and I have to say they were not all of my faith. And lots of times it was in the Jewish, or it was in the Baptist, or it was in the Christian Science, or it was this or that. And I have to say, number one, I always felt that I felt like it was a gift for me to be able to experience what brought other people closer to God or the universe or the source. We do have to break here. This is 30-minute moments, guys, and we are talking about having that kindness and really opening to other people during this holiday season. We'll be right back.
You're listening to 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you discover your true purpose on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. I am your host, Alena Chapman, and we have Dr. Terlyn Curry Avery, and we're going to be talking about this being on a mission with our religion during the holiday season versus leading with love and acceptance and kindness. So, Terlyn, let's talk really, with this, I'm right and you're wrong, or I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to bring you into the fold, that mentality, what's really going on? Why do we feel that we have to be right? We spoke that it's the ego, but it's deeper than that. What is it?
So let me start first by saying, I respect people for having their belief system.
Oh, me too.
And their mission. That some people's missions are really, really to bring you into the fold, because that's what our religion teaches us, right?
No, right.
So if I take Christianity, which is I'm a Christian, people really lean on this scripture of when Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, right? And that no man or person can enter the Father unless they come through me. So So I understand that people hold on to that. And so I know that there were a lot of your listeners who were out there going, no, it's not.
I'm sure they are.
I understand that.
I do too. I do understand that.
A piece of why people are so focused on their way being the only way is because they've had a biblical principle to teach them that.
Ah, okay.
And so they're stuck on that. And that's where we have to expand our thinking of who the sacred is and how the sacred shows up to us, and even how we interpret some of those scriptures. So I say that to say that there are folks who will not step beyond their faith tradition to try to learn any other way. For me, as I've grown, and also with growing up in a family who was very, very much Christian, and we completely hold fast to our beliefs in God and how we understand our teachings, but at the same time, we're also open. I can always talk to my father about any of these issues. And so we understand from our faith tradition as well is that, well, maybe this might be the way that we think, but that does not mean that there isn't something different out there. Because when we limit the way we can think about how God shows up, that means we now limit what we think God is able to do.
Exactly.
Because now we put God in this box.
We put God in a box. Yes.
Exactly. And so I think that that's really that's a part of what's happening.
And it's our box.
It's our box.
It's only our box.
So when people have a mission, this is the way that they believe that they can understand God. And if I can understand God in this way, that means that I can understand God when something else over here happens, because it's consistent with this belief over here. You know, some people don't want to question their faith traditions or their biblical texts, because if I question this thing right here, that means I now have to question every single thing that I believe I know about my church tradition and faith. So
yeah, we don't want to do that to them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so this really is probably a conversation that we could have that's much longer than this
well, of course.
But I just want to acknowledge that many people are doing what they believe in their hearts is the right thing to do. But you said something earlier that is really, really critical for all of us. If this is your tradition, why don't you search your scriptures to figure out the people that you say, or the person or the deity that you say that you believe in, is that really consistent with the way that they lived their life?
Exactly.
Because it's not.
No,
and so
not.
That's really the deeper issue here, is that we go back to this place of love. If we just decided we were going to step forward in love rather than saying, I'm right, because maybe you are right. I don't know. Maybe you are right. Is there a different way that you can show me that you're right about your belief? If you approach me from a place of love and understanding, I'm more likely to listen to you.
And more than that, you make a true, it gives you the gift of seeing that person. Love opens the door.
But when we see that person, we're also seeing our sacred source, because we're the manifestation of that sacred source.
Yes.
And so the minute you shut that person down, who also has divinity in them, just like we have divinity in us, you've just shut down your sacred source.
Exactly.
And people don't realize that.
No.
Maybe your sacred source is trying to approach you in a different way, but you can't hear it.
Our messages from God or from the universe always come in ways that we least expect.
Exactly.
And that's one of them. And by opening up in love, and not maybe this holiday season, let's just, you can stick to what you know is right. There's nothing wrong with that. I always say, whatever you find that brings you closer to God, that is right for you. But let's lead with love for the person who maybe found another way that brings them close. And just open our hearts a little bit to just love one another. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. It's not trying to do anything else but just love.
You know what? I think a great way to exhibit that during this holiday season, one, step outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And find another tradition that celebrates the holiday just to see what they celebrate. How is it similar?
How fun.
Tradition? How is it different? And then the second thing I would invite people to do is, why not put love into the holidays? So rather than focusing on that perfect gift or that perfect meal, just come from a place of spirit. Say, I want to put the spirit back into the holidays, and that's the spirit of love.
I love that.
Everything I do, I'm doing from a place of love. So if I don't get that $1,000 gift for someone, maybe it's going to be something personal that shows them that I love them. And so I think that if we keep love as the forefront for the holidays, we're going to have a magnificent
It's going to be
holiday
magical,
season.
magical Christmas. It really will. You're listening to 30-Minute Moments, and we will be right back with our wonderful section I love.
This is 30-Minute Moments with Alena Chapman, helping you find your inner self every Sunday on WOWO and at WOWO.com.
Welcome back to 30-Minute Moments. And you know what it is. The shift, my favorite part. And Terilyn, what is your aha moment that helped you in some way maybe change things a little?
So I went to school to get my divinity degree. I graduated from Yale University. But prior to going to Yale, I took a class, or I was taking some classes at Harvard Seminary. Love both of those institutions. At Harvard Seminary, I engaged with a lot of Muslim students who would ask me a lot of questions about Christianity. And what I realized is that many of the Muslim students could tell you what they believed and why they believed it to the core without it just being a rehearsed answer.
Interesting.
Someone had told them. And so then they would ask us questions about our beliefs. And then when you answered, then that would be followed by another question, another question, another question. And it was in the explaining why I believed what I believed and understanding why they believed what they believed. I understood, one, that we're not that different at all. And two, I understood the idea of something that I had been doing for years, which was asking the question, was to continue asking the question and then understanding what your response was, not based on just what someone taught you, but from your own deeper understanding of who you are and why you are the way you are and why you think the way you think. And so really it just brought into line all I experienced as a young person with asking a lot of questions and all of my experiences as a psychologist as well. It just solidified it in the conversations that I had with people who seemed to be different than me, but ultimately wanted the same thing that I wanted, which was a deeper connection with the divine.
Right. Right. In every church I have ever been in, that's all they want. They want a deeper connection, and everyone is looking for that. I love how the asking of questions with no purpose in mind than just learning.
Yes.
And it does. It causes you to start going to your core and saying, well, why is this? And I'll tell you, if you go back and it's just always coming down to that love and that wanting to be closer, you can't go wrong. Isn't that incredible? I love that aha moment. And I think, it does. Maybe we should start asking ourselves questions,
Yes, I for sure think that. But some of us don't ask the questions because we're afraid of the answers. But that's where the deeper love comes in, seeking to know ourselves.
To begin to know ourselves.
For who we are. Exactly.
Yes. It is true. It is very true. I think this holiday season, if people just stepped up with love and understanding that we are not all different, we all want love. We all want total acceptance, and we don't want to be taught. I think if we understand that, this could be a magical holiday season. How do people get hold of you?
People could really send me an email. They can email me actually to info, I-N-F-O, at sacredintelligence.com. One of the best ways to reach me is really to go to my website, sacredintelligence.com. There's a contact page there, and someone from my office will be in touch with them.
Awesome. All right. So if we are leaving them with one thing, Dr. Avery, what would it be?
The one thing that I would say is to see that other person as divine and as sacred, and then approach them from a place of love. Since we've talked about love so much on this show, is that if you see them as divine and you approach them as love, then you will understand more about who you are, and you will understand and see them for who they are.
And everyone out there, I'll tell you, if we do leave with that love and seeing the sacredness in everyone, then it's not the money and the presents that's important, or the perfect turkey, or the perfect potatoes, or whatever. And all the family ills can be more healed, and more tolerance and kindness with each. I always tell my kids, if I have to buy a present, I always have a hard time doing so. But then I always get them presents every time I see something that I know is just perfect for them. Mm-hmm. And then on the holidays, we just celebrate as a family. Sometimes I'll tell you the turkey is not perfect, or it's the potatoes are early and the turkey's late, or whatever it may be. It's not perfect. But what brings it all together is that we are together. And if you spread that love first, it turns out to be the most magical holiday you have ever had. So, with that, always stay connected to yourself and others, and definitely that wonderful source, God, the One.
This has been 30-Minute Moments featuring Alena Chapman. If you missed an episode, download it now at wowo.com.
Hi, I'm Alena Chapman, and I'm your host for 30-Minute Moments and all that ease and betterment in the life we bring. So, I have a question for you. Do you feel you deserve all that betterment and ease in your life? Also, do you feel you must struggle? Or do you feel stuck in the muck? Or you may even just want that peace and happiness and balance in your life. I want to first thank everyone who has chosen to chat with me, and oh my gosh, you are so awesome people, and because of the wonderful response, I have decided to open up more of my calendar to all of you, because I love you. And I'll tell you what, all you have to do is text 41411 and type in Meet Alena and schedule your time. Text 41411 and we can talk.
Podcasts by Federated Media.